What happened to the clone troopers after Order 66 and the time of the Republic? In this video, I will be giving you all of the information, and this will be pulled from canon and the expanded universe. And before we get into any information, if you want to and you're new around here and you want to see daily content on Star Wars going over different things including clone troopers like this video, going over something like news, breakdowns, theories, all of that, you can subscribe and turn on post notifications. And also, did you know that over 99% of you watching the video are not subscribed to the channel? So let's see if we can change it up. And with all of that being said, let's get into the information. When the Empire was founded, the clones were transitioned into the Stormtrooper Corps. They were no longer allowed to individualize, customize their armor, or express themselves in any way as they did in the Grand Army of the Republic. They became the nameless, faceless enforcement army of the Empire, and the 501st Legion were elite and proudly called themselves Vader's Fist. They were tasked with hunting down and killing the remaining Jedi and subjugating the population of planets like Kashyyyk that defied the Empire, and they did so with brutal efficiency. And Vader didn't care for any of his troopers because of the potential of forming an emotional attachment, of which of course he didn't want to do. At the end of the Clone Wars, most clones were biologically about 26 or 28, and half of that mentally. Due to their training and experiences, they were more mature than teens but still impressionable. While serving under the Jedi, they were more passionate as seen in the Clone Wars. And you could see this when the Twi'lek village of women and children was initially bombed by the CIS. And when the Empire took over, most of that was wiped out as they were expected to wage ever brutal campaigns to enforce the Emperor's will. There is some indication that the chips that forced them to execute Order 66 continued to affect them by suppressing their emotions, but that varied. Most clones were as loyal to the Empire as they were to the Republic, and some of the clones deserted while others weren't able to cope and they left. In Rebels, we see Rex, Wolfie and Gregor who have removed their chips and retired to Sealos, hunting Jupa for food and fun. I think many more removed their chips and deserted to live better lives, and this is about 16 years after the Clone Wars ended, so this was making the clones about 58 or 29 mentally. And also, the clone army has been disbanded. Considering Rex, Wolfie and Gregor were retired, they needed some way to survive, so that is why they ended up hunting Jupa for fun and food. Padme had passed a bill to set aside funds for pensions, but that was never a priority of the Empire. The Emperor had ended clone production and ended the use of the clone army, so it was in his best interest to rid himself of as many of the clones as he could. There were some clones who weren't allowed to retire, mostly higher ranking officers who were kept to train new human and eventually alien recruits. Commander Cody was one of the few who expressed his disgust with the new recruits by saying if Jango Fett were still alive, he'd kill them all himself. There are also some rumors out there that some of the clones were forced into programs where they received cybernetic implants and modifications to extend their usefulness to the Empire. In some cases, they became more like Grievous than the men they had been. And most were unable to cope and they had mental breakdowns, but again, none of this is officially confirmed. Now that has been all the information I was able to find about the clone troopers after Order 66 and their time in the Empire. So if you do want to see more daily videos on Star Wars going over things like news, breakdowns, lore even, I'll be doing a lot more lore in the future. And if you do have suggestions about certain eras and certain characters you want to see lore on, you can comment that down below and I will more than likely get onto it eventually. So with all of that being said, I hope you have a great day and may the Force be with you.